Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the 6th elementary grade. Our textbook is Weekend 3 and today inshallah we will cover Unit 9, My School is Cool, Phonics Practice. Can be seen on page 114. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazen Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Salih Al-Ajan. So let's begin. So quick revision in our last lesson. In our last lesson, we did many interesting exercises. As for the first one, we talked about that we need to listen and point and practice words that starts with these sets of letters. We said that we have different words like we starts with S and C, SK, and SQ. So we said that we want to, in order to practice these sets of letters, what we need to do is to memorize and know the sound of each of it by using different words. So here I would like you to listen to me while I say these different words so you can have better understanding on how to differentiate between these three sounds. How to differentiate between SC and SK and also SQ in a word. So let's start with the first one. The first word is scarf. Scarf. Say after me, scarf. And then we have sky. 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 And here we have square. 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 Very good. So these three words will help us understand and differentiate the sounds of all of these letters. So with SC we said scarf, and with SK we said sky, and with SQ we said square. So not only this, but also last lesson we got to know more words which starts with these different sets of letters, SC, SK, and SQ. So for the second exercise, what you need to do is to listen first to the teacher when he say all of these different words, and then you need to decide what you should fill in this missing letters with, either with SC, SK, or with SQ. So let's start now by listening to these different words, and then I would like you to decide what are the letters that we should fill it in with. So the first picture here we have is sky. Sky. So what do you think we should fill in this word with? We should fill it in with S and K. Sky. Now let us move on to the second one. Here the second word is square. Square. Now what do you think we should fill in this word with? Square. Here we should fill it in with S and Q. Square. And let us move on to the third one. Here we need to listen to the sound and then we'll decide what are the letters we should fill it in with. The last word is scarf. Scarf. So here we fill it in with S and C. Now let's get to know three more words about SC, SK, and SQ. Now next here we have is skate. Skate. So what we should fill in this word with? With S and K. Skate. Next we have squeeze. Squeeze. Now what we should fill in this word with of course S and Q. And here the third word, which is scary. Scary. Now what we should fill in scary with actually S and C. So here we have three words. We have skate, squeeze, and scary. Now the last part of this exercise, let's listen to this word, which is skirt. Skirt. Now skirt should be fill in with S and K, skirt. Now the second one, which is squid, squid. And here we should fill in squid with S and Q, squid. Now the third one, which is scan, scan. And here, scan, we fill it in with S and C. So it's very important in order for us to know the differences between all of these sound SC, SK, and SQ because they kind of look similar. When we want to differentiate between them is to memorize at least 3 words of each. As for example, here we have with SC, we learned 3 words. We learned scan, scary, and also scarf. And as for the second one, we learn squid, we learn also squeeze and square. And for the first one, we learn skirt and also sky and skate. So knowing different words that starts with these letters is important. It will help us to know how or what is the difference between all of these sounds. Now, let us move on to the third one. Here in number 3, we need to write what they are doing. So on your books, on page 72, you can look at these different pictures. And I would like you to have a look at them and then tell me what they are doing. Like, for example, this picture here. What do you think this man is doing? He is doing something that starts for S and Q. And we can say that that thing is that he making orange juice. So can you recall what is the verb that, or the action that is he doing that starts with S and Q? It is, of course, squeezing. He is squeezing oranges. He is squeezing oranges. Now, as for the second one, if you have a look at this man and what exactly he is doing, he is doing a sport that is a dangerous sport. That is a dangerous sport. And what we should do and what we should know is that he's doing a sport that starts with S and K. So can you recall a sport that starts with S and K? It is a skydiving. So he is skydiving. And as for the third one, on your books, you'll see a picture of a man in the sea. And this man, he also likes the sea. So what do you think? What is he doing? Or what is the sport that is he doing that starts with S and C? He is scuba diving. He is scuba diving. So all of these actions and all of these things that he did, it's very important that we know these different sports that starts with 3 different letters. And also on page 73, we had an interesting exercise that is called My School, where in this exercise we read and also we did write about our school. And it's recommended that if we want to use pictures or if we want to use photos or draw actually some pictures. So now let's remind ourselves and let's read it again. And after this, we can have more information that we need for writing this exercise about my school. So let's read it. I live in small town. I have a lot of friends, and we all go to the same school. Our school is really cool. There are about 20 classrooms, a library, a big yard, and an art workshop. So here in the first part in my school reading, it talks about where my school is. It is in a small town and I have a lot of friends and we all go to the same school from this town. And not only this, but also it talks about how many, and he talked about how many classrooms does he have in his school. He said there are about 20 classrooms and also a library and a big yard and an art workshop. All of these facilities he has in his school. So let's read the second part. The second part is the principal's office and the teacher's lounge are on the ground floor. There are smart classrooms in our school with computers, projectors, and interactive boards. We really like using our smart classroom. So here in the second part, it talks about the principal, where is the principal office and where is the teacher's lounge. Not only this, but also he talked about that he has smart classrooms in his school, where he said that we do have projectors, we do have computers, and we do have interactive boards. So this is why he liked his school. So let's have all of this information and try to use them here in this writing. So just think of your school. Starts with, of course, starts to say, where do you live in? Maybe you live in a town, or maybe you live in a big city like Riyadh and Jeddah. So here what you need to do is to mention the name of the place you live in. And after this, you can mention what you have in school. Talk about first, for example, how many rooms or classrooms you have. And also talk about other facilities, like if you have an art room, if you have a basketball court, or if you have a computer room or a science lab, and also talk about if you have projectors, computers, and so on. So all of this information, it's important that you include them here. So now let's get to know our objectives in today's lesson. We hope that at the end of this lesson you will be able to point and say keywords with OU, OW, OA, OO, and AU, AW, OI, and also words that ends with O and Y. So I would like you to open your books on page 114. I would like you please to open your books on page 114. So here what we're going to do with the vowel diagrams and murmuring sounds, first to listen to the teacher and say these words, and after this it's important that we point and say the key words and to listen to them. So let's start with the first word we have with O and U, which is house. House. A house. This is a house. That is, has the sound of O and U. House. Also another word with the same sound, which is mouse. Mouse. So also this word with O and U sound that we can see here with O and U. The third one is that has the O and W sound, which is cow. Cow. Also cow with O and W sound. And next we have brown. Brown. Also brown with O and W sound. Now, here we're going to talk about the two O's, but in a short form. For example, book. Book. You see here the word book with two O's, but they are the short O. Book. The same as cook. Cook. This is also a word with the short O's. The short O's. Now we have other words with the long O's, like moon. Moon. So moon is a word that has two O's, but the longer one. Also we have spoon. Spoon. Also spoon are the words that has two O's and also the longer one. Now, Also, other words that has the A and U, which is August. August. So here we have O and U sound. Next we have autumn. Autumn. That starts with A and U. And also the other word here we have that has the sound of A and W, like straw. Straw. And here we can see the sound at the end. Also another word with the same sound, which is strawberry. Strawberry. Strawberry also with the sound of A and W. Next we have words also with the sound of O and I, like the word coin. Coin. And here we can see the O and I in the middle. Another word with the same sound, which is point. Point. Point also with the sound O and I in the middle. And also the last sound we have is the words that ends with O and Y. Like, for example, boy, boy. And also the other word which is that has or ends with the sound of O and Y, which is toy. Toy. Very well. So at the end, it's very important that you can point and say all the keywords with all of these different sounds. That starts with OU, OW, OA, double O, the long and the short, AU, AW, OI, and also words ends with O and Y. So now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.